Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast Vanderpump Rules, the New Class Edition, Season 12, Episode 11. We are one episode away from the season finale. Thank God.
Thank God.
Has it been confirmed there's a reunion?
There is a reunion. It already filmed.
Oh, that's right. We did the seating chart.
Yeah. If they have more than one episode, I will hunt them down.
Head against a wall immediately. Yeah. Okay, before we get into the show, per usual, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. All the links are in our description. And please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Okay, Meredith. There is no previously on Vanderpump Rules, the New Class. We jump right in.
Which is crazy, because last week they gave us a previously on that meant nothing to the episode.
Yeah, you know what they did was as they were going through the actual episode, they would send a lot of flashbacks, which I took notes on 0%, because I know what happened, because nothing happened, so anything that does happen, I already know about.
The only thing you need to know is everybody flip-flops by the time this episode starts to the end.
I don't have to be reminded of how much the show sucks. Actually, don't do it previously on ever again. I got it. I get it, you know? Okay, so we jump right in. We also don't have an intro song, which that was rude, but...
Because again, this episode isn't jam-packed that we need to miss these things. Like, honestly, we could have used the filler. I would have much
preferred the intro.
The intro video.
Because at least then I can make sure I have my water cup and everything all filled up. I don't have to pay attention.
It's a good intro.
It's a good song.
Compared
it's a
to
great
Bravo intros. Like, it's epic. So, like, throw it back to that. You know it's a winner.
So we open up in Angelica's apartment. She's got her new boobs. They're huge now. She went from an A to a double D.
As somebody who naturally has double Ds,
same.
Girly, the back issues that come with it just really aren't worth it.
Here's the thing. I think everyone for a long time was like, we got to get big boobs. And then that stopped because these very small girls are getting very big boobs. And listen, when you have them naturally, you sometimes have a little more support, but still your back hurts. The boobs get in the way. If you run, imagine running without a sports bra. I have to hold my breasts in, right? But she said she wanted to go with a C, but then on the surgical table, she was like, go big or go home. And I was like, girl, if we agreed on a C, I feel like I've never gotten a boob job. However, I just imagine.
Well, what's scary is that a lot of times patients will ask, let's say for like a C, and the doctor will upgrade them themselves. And be like, I don't want you to regret it, or like your husband would have wanted this. And it's so gross. And I don't really think you can sue them for malpractice.
Probably not, because it's elective and you're like, you probably signed something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also feel like Angelica's very tiny. I can't imagine my double Ds on someone that tiny because I think they're large. For me, and I'm not as tiny as her.
Alicia, I was like, girly,
she's gonna topple over. She's top heavy now.
Because I want a boob job to get mine smaller. I want a C. I would love to have a C.
I would love a C. How do we get there? I guess the opposite.
Yeah.
Can they go through the armpits?
No, I don't know what a reduction is like, but most of the time it just comes back anyway, so it's like, what's the point?
I do. One of my friends in college had one, and then, just to give you an idea, she said she lost all feeling in her nipples, so... Because they had to, like, cut her nipples.
No,
and then they
not
put
worth
them back
it.
on. Yeah, no.
If I'm already going to gain it back, like, I don't want to risk losing sensation.
Yeah. But she looks great. Anyway, so Angelica calls Kim. Angelica tells her that her ex is completely moved out and she's going to move into a new place and she has new boobs. And Kim is like, hey, guess what? Natalie and Jason were making out again. You know, Angelica's like, ooh, that's so gross.
Oh, here comes Angelica's biggest trauma of the season. It's named Jason.
Remember when she told us she, like, gets better?
Yes.
When does it happen? In the last episode or? I'm sorry, like, hi, girl.
Girl. What's crazy is she can't
worse.
be tagged on socials anymore. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit.
Us?
No, I think she just like generally gets tagged in a bunch of stuff that's not positive. So like respect on that. Like I wouldn't want to see it. The delusion is so strong on her thinking like it's going to turn around. I understand why Audrey blocked her now.
Yeah,
like
girl.
I thought it was just like crazy when it all went down on the stories. And I still think it's like wild whenever people do that stuff. But I'm like, no, I totally understand Audrey now.
Listen, respectfully, Angelica bugged the shit out of me this whole episode.
Same.
No, great. Okay, so They then talk about Audrey and Chris and how they might have ended things. And Angelica thought that her and Audrey were going to be enemies because of the miscommunication over that penis pump. But now Angelica feels like Audrey's really going to need her girlfriends without Chris. And I was like, dude, she's not heartbroken. She doesn't need you around. She's good.
Also, enemies over like, it was kind of a miscommunication. Like, you were just being a shitty person. She called you out on it. I don't think Audrey's sitting here.
And then she's like, that's my enemy.
That is, Angelica thinks that way because that's what she did to Jason. So she kind of expects everybody to do that to her when she like fucks up. And it's like, no, some people can just say, hey, I don't vibe with that. Like, stay away from me. And that's it. Like, I don't think about you.
Angelica cannot do that. And then she's asked about Shayne, and Angelica's like, I wonder if he missed me while I was gone. And I was like, the delusion with Shayne is driving me nuts.
I'm genuinely confused.
I'm concerned about her.
Because let's like walk through, since we didn't get it previously on, let's walk through that history. They made out at the Abbey after she like ended things with Jason.
Yes.
And then they went on one date where she wore boots to the beach. They kissed.
Wait, homegirl wore combat boots to the beach. Sorry, that's a Hills. And they kissed after fish. After tacos?
Yeah, they kissed after the
fish
tacos at the beach. And then they went on that trip and they were coupley, all right, whatever. Shayne ends things. It's been like a week and a half, and she's sitting here pining over him after her boob job.
He ends things because A, she was getting very serious where Shayne is non-monogamous. He does not want a relationship. Angelica does. And B, she got really clingy and she caused a lot of drama, which Shayne is also not into and expected a lot from Shayne. So Shayne said, no thanks. And she's like, I wonder if he's gonna beg for me back. Hello?
Oh, no.
Who's
and
home?
Then she laid on the couch, slept on the couch that night, and tried to go
break
into his room. Put her arm, whenever they're driving home, like on him.
The lights aren't even on, and no one's home. Angelica is nuts, dude.
And she's been gone for another week. Like, their whole rendezvous was maybe a week and a half. She's been gone for another week since he ended things.
Well, he applauded her story from if you remember correctly. She posted her new boobs and he went, hooray, but hasn't actually reached out. Yep. It's fine. Okay, then we go to Shot of Art, which is very fun. So Natalie and Jason are here, and as they're getting out, Jason's like, oh my God, here's the love of my life. He's really feeling Natalie. And Natalie is like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I did brunch today. And she says, like, Audrey and Chris were kind of flirting, so we don't know what's going on there. But it doesn't matter because Natalie and Jason are going to make art. And Jason is very cautious where he takes girls now after his disaster date with Angelica. I
appreciate
we're learning. We're growing.
Yep. Way to take that under consideration, Jason. Maybe never again.
Also, he knows Natalie is artistic, so why not paint?
This is so sweet.
It was a very fun date. I would love to do this. But afterward, they talk about like the beach party for McKenna, the Sir DJ. And Natalie's like, I love that we can just like flirt and make out. And it's like hilarious. And Jason's like, yeah, so fun. And Natalie says having friendships with straight men, it's not always easy because the guy always develops feelings and then complicates the friendship. But Natalie loves that Jason is just her guy friend. And then cut to Jason, who's like, this is a spark I'm feeling and I want this to be a regular thing.
Oh, no. This is brutal.
When Natalie said, it's hilarious that we made out, that
was clear.
That's savage.
And her talking about how much she likes having straight guy friends is immediate shoved into the friend zone.
Yeah. Which, okay, I can't blame a guy, Jason, for falling in love with Natalie. She's lovely. But we are on different pages. So I think we maybe have a conversation, Jason,
100%.
Because you're the one that wants to take the friendship to the next level.
But I appreciate him like shooting his shot. He's like trying 100%. To woo her. He's doing it a lot different from Angelica, not just the type of date, but if we remember, like when Angelica and Jason were starting out, like they had that pool day and then he went and flirted with another girl in front of her. And then it just kind of like spiraled out of control. He texted her saying he was going to meet them out after girls' night. Like he just kept fumbling the bag. And this time it's like he's actually pursuing Natalie. Natalie just isn't interested, which is unfortunate, but he's doing it right this time.
He is. He's trying. And now he'll just learn, have a conversation. If you're friends with someone and you want to take it to the next level, don't just hang out with them because they'll just think it's a friend date.
Especially on camera. Like, I'm sure production helped set this up. So I don't fault Natalie for not knowing that this is a date later on.
Agreed. Okay, so then we go to Audrey's apartment. Venus is here. Venus just taught Natalie what teabagging is, which...
I am shocked Natalie didn't know what that was.
Well, she's had it done. She just didn't know that was what it was called. So it's not like she's like, no way people do that. She just didn't know it was called something official. Yeah. So they've made some tea and now they're going to spill some tea. Venus, he talks about gay pride. He has a budget of $500, but then he spent $250 of his own, to which I was like, dude, you never spend money for work. Come on.
I know, but he's so excited, and I do love that.
He should expense it, though. At least he can afford $250.
And I'm sure if he was like, hey, I went over budget like $100, at least he could get that back.
Yeah, he's a server. She would be like, all right, just don't do it again. That's literally her like monthly budget for tea, actually, for Lisa's like $250.
And she loves pride. Like she would give you more.
Yeah. So Audrey is going to do a stand-up comedy show. When she came to LA, she had the dream of becoming an actress, and she still wants to do that, but comedy kind of popped out of nowhere, and she's down to just put herself out on as many stages as possible, and she's gonna invite everyone, bring up everyone's bullshit. It's gonna be funny. And I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't crash and burn, because some people are funny comedians, some people are funny not comedians. I could never be a stand-up comedian, though I am hilarious. It's a different type of comedy. So I was like,
100%. It's really hard to be like solo up there and playing with an audience.
Yeah. So she's gonna try. Venus is like, you got to talk about Angelica and how like stupid she is, but she has a degree in, what is it? Neurobiology.
It's something sciencey.
Yeah, and Audrey's like, I'm also going to bring up penis pump. And then we talk about Chris a little bit. Audrey knows Chris still wants her. After the beach bar last week, or a few days ago, whenever this was, her and Parker went to Jason and Chris's Marina Del Rey apartment. And she stayed there because she drank so much, but nothing happened. And Venus says he doesn't feel like Chris is ready to settle down. Chris wants to explore different cities, different panties. He's busy.
He does.
He wants to go fuck bitches in Bali.
God forbid we fuck mad bitches in Bali.
Fuck mad bitches in Bali.
I am worried about Audrey spending the night because like she also needs to be like, Chris needs to be clear, but Audrey also needs to be clear with her communication, and her actions need to follow that through. So if she does want to be with him from casual to even in a relationship, then that's fine to spend the night. But if she does not want to, she needs to stop engaging in that.
Yeah, here's the thing, because we didn't get it previously on. At the beach bar, Chris proclaimed his basically undying love and how he wants Audrey and he wants to give it a go. And she was like, okay, whatever. So now we don't know what happened. So Chris has made it clear his intentions are to be with Audrey.
That's true.
She stayed over,
so
and
she's accepting that. That's great.
If she's accepting that, but they need to be more clear. Chris has said what he needs to say. If Audrey's spending the night and has no intention of getting back with Chris, that is probably a problem. But she doesn't seem to have made a decision one way or the other. I feel like she's going with the flow at this point. She's like, okay, he wants to make an effort.
That, like, he kind of made this declaration. She was at least interested somewhat. And now they need, like, a more clear, like, what's going to happen next or what's our plan? Like, are we still going to be dating and not official?
Yeah.
Or what's the vibe? What's the titles?
Vibe?
Because at some point you do got to put a title on it.
Well, Audrey's main problem of why she ended things with Chris was she wants the next step. She wants romance and effort. And Chris, she felt like was not giving that to her. So she ended things. And then he was like, hey, you know what's romantic is ordering food, and I'd love to order food with you. And she was like, okay.
I forgot about that.
It was the messiest thing. Okay, so then we go to Sir. Angelica meets Venus, comes around the corner with her big old titties. Venus is like, whoa, almost poked an eye out or something.
Do you think she had to get a whole new wardrobe?
Yes. Imagine, dude, if we got reductions, we would need new wardrobes. Sometimes I have to go up a size just so my boobs can breathe.
100%. I have to have multiple size bras because it fluctuates even in the month what size I am.
Yeah, so she had to get from A's to double D. There's no way. Like, we
That
wouldn't have to
dress
get...
just fit her perfectly, though, that I was like, how did you know that?
Maybe, like, because her boobs were out. Maybe that's the same dress and we're just covering nip. I would want to be just as covered as I was in my A cups. Her boobs are really high
because they haven't, like, fallen yet.
Deflated.
Yeah, they just, like, I don't think sit naturally right now, so they're right up there.
I gotta go watch more episodes of, like, plastic surgery shows like Botch so I can relearn what all of this means.
I don't know if Botch would help you with this one, but...
Okay, so Venus is preparing for Pride. Angelica is providing her swimsuit line for the girls. Marcus is going to DJ. Chris, Shayne, and Jason are going to be the strippers. And Natalie is going to perform her song, Passengers, which that's lovely, but that does not seem like a Pride song.
That, and also, what was that, episode 2 that we heard about that? Like, what a callback from this season.
They really went full circle. But Angelica is so excited to see Shayne in a Speedo, which I was like, she's so obsessed. She's still so obsessed with Shayne, right? Okay, great.
What the fuck?
So all the girls get here, they ogle Angelica's boobs, and she squeezes them. And for a second, I was like, if they pop on camera, that would be the craziest thing. So Audrey says, like, she's happy for Angelica. She supports Angelica. But just because you got new boobs doesn't mean you're a new person. You just got hotter. And I was like,
that's some bars.
Yeah. So they try on the swimsuits. The swimsuits are so small that Angelica picked out.
Do you remember when Kim went over into Angelica's apartment and she showed her some photos or even like a actual swimsuit?
Yeah.
And Kim was like, cute for your body type. Like, mine could never. And this is it actually seeing it on beautiful women who have wonderful bodies, but I'm like, that is tiny, and I fear you have to be the most petite person for the body portion, like proportions to work.
Here's the thing. So Kim wasn't there, and I'm sure Kim's not going to wear this bathing suit because she's right. It only looks good on Angelica with A cups, honestly, because Natalie tries it on. And she keeps like her bra on because it doesn't truly like fit totally.
Yeah.
But like it fits okay. And then Audrey comes out and her nipples are covered, but her boobs are not. Audrey's not. None of these women, they're all very petite, but still it's all fitting them differently. And then Demi comes out and she's a little like, she's got an ass. So like the swimsuit is being eaten by her butt. They all are. And here's the thing that Demi says, which I think is true. These are great swimsuits. However, they need to work and serve people food. And I know it's gay pride and like lovely, look hot, but I don't want to be concerned that my server is going to literally show me their asshole.
I know. It feels like a ribbon was just tied around them.
I was like, I don't know about these swimsuits.
I don't think this is going to work. Because even if you wore shorts, a skirt, like to worry about the vagina portion, a nip slip is guaranteed in this thing.
Dude, Audrey came out with nothing on it. And I was like, her boob is out. I just don't, you could just cover up your nipple with paint. It would look the same.
It would honestly be better.
How is Demi going to yell orders at people in that bathing suit? I would be like, girl, don't lift your arms too high because it's coming up with you.
Yeah, you can't point and yell during this
day. You can't run. What if there's an emergency at work?
Boobs out if there's an emergency.
This is reminding me of, remember back season 1, Vanderpump Rules, that dress that was so short that they couldn't bend over. So the girls had to be like, we have to squat down and then come up really daintily. This is worse. This is less fabric somehow.
What somehow? At least there was an entire dress. You had no nip slip issues there because wasn't that like long sleeve?
It was
covered, and had a little cut.
It was in the back, was open and just like came above
the bandana one.
Yeah, just came above the ass cheeks. But they taped it all down. Remember, they would like tape themselves in. But yeah, this is a lot.
I'm so curious. Do you think they're actually going to wear this next episode?
No. I think they're just showing Angelica's line. Maybe Angelica's like, I brought other bathing suits for everyone, but like, I don't. There's no way they serve crispy chickens in these things. I
was kind of shocked that we didn't get like multiple versions for like Angelica's sake. Like every girl in a different swimsuit to show off the range of the line.
Because honestly, the swimsuit didn't look bad on anyone, but it didn't look that great. It wasn't like model, like, okay, take the photo, I'm promoting the swimsuit good. Like, I'm not interested
None
in
of those
these
ladies
swimsuits.
would have bought that style themselves.
No, it was just very tiny. And Natalie did do a cartwheel, and I was like, vagina.
Yeah, but she had underwear and a bra on, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, thank
vagina.
you for that.
It's up your ass. What are we doing? Anyway. So then we go to Vibe, where Jason, Chris, and Natalie are hanging out. And at first I thought it was another date. Then I saw Chris and I was like, what's he doing here? But we're going to learn to dance because these are going to be Natalie's backup dancers to her very slow song Passenger, which is about a breakup, right?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
But this, I was like, oh, this is interesting.
It was fun to watch. So Rihanna is here to teach them, one of their friends, and Chris and Jason have very little dance experience, mostly with a pole and or if you've seen Magic Mike, kind of that vibe. Chris does tell us about a story where he almost dropped a bachelorette when he was stripping, but he saved her. He got away with it.
Oh, Lordy.
I've seen a bride go down, so don't.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't, I saw a video of it. It went different, but I was like, damn. That is.
I could not handle
it. So you don't get lifted up.
I knew was the bride dropped. Like, end of the night, we're going home.
No, terrible. Okay, so the boys really struggle to hit 3 poses, so it's not looking good. But then dance class ends, so I'm assuming it worked out fine.
I don't know, but we'll see it next episode.
So then Jason and Chris get in their car together. Natalie is still in she's still in Vibe. And Jason's like, oh yeah, I really like Natalie. And Chris is like, that's great, bro. Me and Audrey are back too. And they're like, we both got our girls. And Chris just has to prove that he wants Audrey and he wants this. However, he was thinking about how this summer he's going to travel a lot. Like he's going to go to Europe and to Jersey and to fuck mad bitches in Bali. So like he's kind of like one day he's really confident that he wants something with Audrey and the next day he's really like not sure if it's feasible. Like maybe he shouldn't have begged Audrey for a second chance, but he doesn't think that. I think that.
Yeah, no. He doesn't notice the issue here with his big speech last week, but maybe when he was giving the big speech about eating food together, he meant I'll be eating food in Italy and you're going to be eating food in LA.
He's like, I can't wait to fuck. And he's like, I'll be doing mad bitches in Bali and you'll be fucking your vibrator because you must wait for me. You know, like that.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Knows he doesn't want to lose Audrey, but he doesn't think they should take the big next step, which if he remembers is the reason Audrey dumped him at Universal is because she didn't think he wanted to take the big next step.
Yeah.
And then he drunkenly told her, I want to order Popeye's takeout with you. No, it wasn't Popeye's, but anything.
I don't get how he does this. Like, you knew what you had planned. As someone who travels a lot and is not available, it's very easy to be like, I can't fit you into my schedule. I would like to keep this casual. And if she doesn't, great. But like, he could have just said that I don't have a lot of time this summer for you. So no, I can't take the next step. But that doesn't mean I don't like you. And I would love to see what would happen if when I come back.
Well, he hasn't told her any of this. He hasn't even told her that he's having some thought.
I now understand how they are across from each other at the reunion.
Yep, 100%. Chris does feel bad though, because he told Audrey he wants to go all in, and now he thinks maybe she wants to go all in.
Yeah, what gave you that impression? Also, it pisses me off because he's like, I don't get like people who say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Why can't I have my cake and eat it? Yeah. And I hate when people don't understand this phrase because it means that you can't have a whole cake and also eat it. You can't do both because by the time you eat it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So you could have 2 cakes, but that's being a dick. That's Shayne. That's like non-monogamy.
He wants 2 cakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he eats both cakes, he has 0 cakes. So
he's just taking a bite out of every cake he finds.
That's what he's doing.
And you know what? That's fine because he's honest with the cake owners.
He tells you he's going to bite the cake and then leave it.
Yeah. Angelica's the only one that is not listening.
She doesn't get it. So apparently, though, as Jason tells us, this is normal behavior for Chris. And he's actually the one that's like, hey, man, you got to be honest with Audrey because this is crazy. And he says Audrey asked for romance and now you won't ask her to be a girlfriend or his girlfriend. So like that's kind of counterintuitive.
I appreciate Jason saying this, like mad respect to him standing up to his cousin and saying like, that's messed up. This is what she wanted. Like, this is why she wanted it. And like, you need to shit or get off the pot.
Well, stupid Chris was like, I could still be romantic and her not be my girlfriend. And Jason was like, dude, to be romantic is to be with one woman. Like, what are we doing?
Want romance from her casual hookup. When she says romance, she wants you taking the relationship to the next level. And part of that is being boyfriend and girlfriend.
He's a moron. I see why he went on 1,000 dating shows and is still fucking single. I get it.
I see why he's doing weird stuff with his cousin.
You know how I said he was on, oh my God, what is it? Perfect Match or something like that? This is kind of how he was with that other girl. Like, he was just not honest and was, like, totally fucking weird.
Yeah, I just remember, you said that on our cast preview, which was a Patreon exclusive.
Fucking loser. Anyway, so then we go to a coffee shop where Audrey meets Sarah, the comedian. Audrey's very excited to do stand-up, also terrified. But she did theater, so she doesn't have stage fright, but she's still nervous. And then she's getting some pointers from Sarah, the comedian. Sarah says, just be original and relatable. And Audrey's like, I'm going to roast the fuck out of my coworkers. And I was like, girl, I don't know if that's the best.
This made me so nervous because if I'm showing up to a comedy show, I'm not signing up for a roast, especially if I know you.
I maybe would if it was like my best friend. But like if it's my coworker, when we had worked together, if you were like, come to my comedy roast, I wouldn't be like, she's gonna roast me.
But like,
or come to my comedy show. Yeah.
Audrey hasn't said that it's a roast. If you told me I was gonna be roasted, then I got to choose if I'm showing up or not and participating.
Yeah.
It's, if you're going to roast people, you do need to tell them, because I remember, God, what's her name? The comedian, she's blonde, stick thin, obsessed with Taylor Swift. Nikki Glazer. She recently did interviews about whenever she hosted an award show, and she was like, any like roasting, I get approval from everybody in the audience. Mm-hmm. And I find that so respectful.
You have to.
Because as a guest, like, and somebody who wants to show up to an award show or like support your friend, like I would feel slighted if you chose to then make me the butt of the jokes without me knowing.
Yeah, and I'm here to support you.
Yeah.
And you still, crazy. Anyway, then we go to something about her. Katie and Ariana are not here. I'm so sad. But the woman at the cash register.
Did you expect them to be
let me
behind the cash?
Or should they walk in and they're like, hey, and then they just like walk past.
I wish Katie would have walked out and just been like, hey, how are you ladies doing? Like, are you liking everything? That would have been amazing. If we had to see Schwartz, why couldn't we have gotten Katie?
Oh, sorry. I blacked him out because he meant nothing to me anyway. So Natalie and Angelica get their sandwiches. Angelica was moving this past week, and when she was, her ex came by the house. He's been checking in on her, and Natalie's like, this is why you shouldn't be friends with him. And Natalie somehow went from the craziest bitch on this cast to like the words of wisdom.
I understand Natalie's crazy though, and how she gets there and her like reactions. Angelica,
I do now.
Is so obsessed with other people's attention. I wasn't comparing
them. It was more of like, now Natalie is the voice of reason. She's like big sistering. She's like, don't be friends with your ex. Duh, girl.
Angelica is a unicorn in the pick-me department. I compared her to Sheena and Sally Carson from Southern Charm. And honestly,
she gives big Sally, but somehow worse.
I think Angelica's the worst.
I do too.
In the pick-me department.
Here's the thing. Sheena's a pick-me, but no offense, Sheena. No one's picking her. So she's not that dangerous. Also, I don't think she'd like screw over her best friends. I think she'd screw over other girls, but she's not going to screw her best friend.
I agree.
Sally will definitely screw over her best friends, but also no one's picking her. The dangerous thing about Angelica is she's been picked, so she knows how to get picked, and she will cut anyone in her way to get picked.
And I also think she's trying to be picked by guys who are openly telling her they don't want a girlfriend, a la Shayne. He doesn't want to be in a relationship, and she's trying to like lock him down. So not only is she hurting women around her, she's also hurting men, which like don't make me stand up for a man, but like I still think poor Shayne in the like craziness of Angelica, because he doesn't know. She's not saying this stuff in front of him.
Okay. But it's fine because she's actually talking to someone else.
Of fucking course she is!
She's gonna pick him up from LAX tomorrow, and he's spending the night. And Natalie is even like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Dude, picking somebody up from LAX is like marriage behavior. I have flown in and out of LAX quite a few times, and my own flesh and blood cousin will not come pick me up.
I get it, though. LAX sucks. I've only flown out, and it was a terrible experience. But like, girl, just a few days ago, you were like sitting outside Shayne's door, and now you're talking to someone else after you just moved out of the apartment with your ex. And now this new guy is going to come stay with you in your new apartment.
That's so true because I'm just thinking of the timeline of Angelica's like psychotic.
Well, I guess, wait, she also got a boob job. When did she meet this man?
It's the timeline that I'm like so confused about because we have like Jason into Shayne, somewhat of a normal transition. And then we go Shayne to the end of the vacation when he ends things with her. We go straight into the boob job. But yeah, where does this new guy fit into this timeline?
And like, are you just meeting him? Is this like
that? But how do you just meet someone and pick them up from LAX when every person in LA knows that that's crazy behavior and like that means something to pick somebody up?
She cannot be alone.
No.
She cannot be alone for a second. We want to talk about male validation. This girl hasn't gone an episode without it.
Multiple men though. Like she always has at least 2 men in the queue of like trying to beg them for attention.
Yeah.
So maybe she did just meet this new man because like that is so her to pick up this man from LAX, even though she just met him 2 days ago.
So then, Natalie's like, oh, that's crazy. And then they talk about Shayne a little bit. And Angelica's like, it's so weird that Shayne ended things with me. And Natalie's just chewing on her sandwich. And she's like, you know what? He kind of was coming on to me last weekend. And Angelica's like, oh my God, do I need to stab you?
What a weird thing. Because that was in the preview too. And I was like, I swear to God, if that actually is the context of how it goes down, I'm going to lose my mind. And it is.
Well, Natalie isn't too perturbed, but she kind of stops her chewing on her sandwich. And she's like, what? What are you talking about?
It's so weird. Again, this man is non-monogamous. So if he hooks up with both of you and is honest about it,
doesn't matter.
Why would you need to kill her?
Well, first of all, even if this man wasn't non-monogamous, why are you going to kill her and not him?
Why are we killing a girl for a guy?
Why?
Like, come on.
Why? Even if it's someone as hilarious as Shayne. I know he's been through a lot, but stab Shayne over Natalie.
This is how she is the pick-me final boss.
Yeah,
this conversation alone. Because it gets worse, too.
So Angelica thinks that Shayne went back to Natalie because she was in Houston. And I was like, you're not that irreplaceable.
Also, he ended things with you prior to you leaving for a week.
Yeah, he's not missing. He ended things. And then he's going to go call one of his mad bitches. Because he's got a whole
mad bitches
roster.
in LA.
Yeah. Natalie says that Shayne... Oh, who asked who to... How do we find out that Shayne asked Jason? Oh, Natalie tells, that has to be it. Natalie tells Angelica that Shayne asked Jason for permission to revisit her. That's what Shayne kind of dropped to Natalie. Mm-hmm. And then Angelica's like, oh my God, she's eating this up. And then Natalie tells Angelica that her and Jason aren't a thing. She's just doing whatever the fuck she wants. But Angelica can't imagine that it's Shayne because Shayne actually told Angelica that Natalie doesn't intellectually stimulate him. And she tells Natalie that. And Natalie's like, okay, that's something that Angelica should have never repeated, but also, like, that doesn't hurt my feelings.
That is so rude because the way Angelica's saying this is as if she's telling a different person, not Natalie. She's like so giddy, like, oh my God, yeah. And he said that he's not intellectually stimulated by, like, you.
Yeah.
Weird.
She's doing it in a weird way that she's like, so you shouldn't hook up with Shayne because he prefers me anyway. And Natalie's straight up like, I couldn't give a shit if Shayne is stimulated by me or not.
Well, she wants a stimulation by him, but not intellectually.
But she doesn't even really want that. She could have had it and she was like, you're too much. You're too much. It's not even worth physically hooking up with you.
Because I think Shayne and Natalie would hook up, but it would just be like a random, like, perfect moment, just like random hookup for them. It doesn't mean anything to Natalie and it doesn't mean anything to Shayne. It's just a fun time. And Angelica takes this so seriously. Like, get a grip.
Shayne and Natalie did have something because later Natalie's kind of like, oh, we had a connection. So I think there was something there, but I don't think either one of them was going to date the other or wanted to date the other.
Not with where it stands now.
And also, when Shayne and Natalie had that conversation at the pool, we came to the conclusion that Natalie's not interested in dissecting emotions and, like, being really deep. And Shayne wanted to, like, go through all of her hopes and dreams and fears and, like, before they fucked. And Natalie's like, that's not me. So, yeah, intellectually, Shayne and Natalie aren't on the same plane. Because Shayne, to, like, fuck you, has to hear your deepest, darkest secrets, and Natalie just needs your dick.
I forgot about that.
So maybe, yeah. So Natalie's like, I don't give a shit. This dude sucks. At the pool, I hated hanging out with him.
And Angelica's just saying this to put Natalie down, which is so rude.
Yeah, Angelica's a bitch,
I've had a friend do this to me, and it's like, oh, you're a bad person.
You're mean. You're mean. You don't like me. You don't like me if you say this shit.
Like, don't try to
be my friend
with me.
Yeah, don't be my friend. But yeah, Angelica was a little hurt when Shayne ended their thing, which, like, that's not Natalie's fault. You have to come at her.
On her or take it out on her. Yeah.
So then we go to Sir. Lisa's here. She checks in with Venus about Pride. Venus is amazing. And Lisa's like, I don't care if you're amazing. The event needs to be amazing. And then she's like, do people know about this? And Venus is like, we're going to go out on Friday and put out flyers. And Lisa's like, bro, Pride's in a week. Get on it. Because if this is bad, I'm coming for your head.
Yeah, this isn't great. Like, so happy that you've spent $750 on decorations, but first, like, order of business should have been some flyers out, like, at the beginning of the month.
Mm-hmm. People are making their Pride plans. Like, you have to let them know this is an option.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Okay, so then Shayne is here. It kind of looks like he's with a girl, but also no one seems weirded out by this girl. So I'm assuming she's a friend.
He was also in all black, and so it just, like, I forgot that he didn't work there for a minute because he was, like, walking around every inch of that restaurant.
No. Angelica immediately is like, hey, Shayne, I heard some stuff about you. Should we go talk? And Shayne's like, okay. But he just really wants to stare at Angelica's boobs. He can't look away.
I mean, she's the one who all day is like, my boobs are down here. I paid $11,000 for these babies. Stare at them.
Yeah, and now she's like, Shayne, look at me in my eyes. And he's like, okay. So Angelica's like, hey, what happened when I was gone? Do you want to have something with Natalie? And Shayne's like, nothing happened. We just, like, were a little friendly with each other. And then they head out to the back of Sir, where Angelica is grilling Shayne about what he thinks of Natalie and what he wants with her.
What the hell?
Ask Shayne if he was lonely while she was gone. Which, girl, have you seen his roster? He's not lonely. He's good.
Again, I think Angelica doesn't realize that some people just, like, have casual hookups, and you're one of many. He's not thinking about you. He's not lonely when you're gone. Yeah, you were gone in Houston for a week. That didn't change any aspect of his life.
Yeah, she doesn't get that. He just wants to fuck her. After that, maybe they could hang out, have some wine, but then he's going to get after she's gone, his 10 o'clock shows up.
Yeah, I don't think, though, after that trip, he would even fuck her because he knows she's crazy.
I think
not in, like, a fun way.
I think he would, because men love even bad crazy. They love crazy, and he wants to fuck her. He thinks she's so hot. As we love Shayne so much, he is, at the end of the day, a stupid white man, okay?
Yes.
So as great as Shayne is, there is a cap. And he is showing his terribleness now because he cannot see past Angelica's hotness. He doesn't care that she's crazy.
The new boobs raise it to him.
He's trying to care that she has feelings, but who cares? Because she's hot and he just is going to fuck her.
That's true, because he does try to, like, smooth it over with her in this conversation.
The thing is, though, as a man, he has felt he is honest with her because he has said, I am non-monogamous, right? Whether she hears that and understands that or not, Shayne is not concerned with. So it's one of those things of, like, I know she's not going to get it. Should I still not hook up with her because this will hurt her? Or I gave her my thoughts. So this is where he said the ethical part comes in, ethical non-monogamy. Is he knows
so true.
She's going to fall for him. But he's kind of like, I told you, I laid it out. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. So it's ethical. Yeah. Anyway, so then we go back into Sir, and Audrey asks Jason how Natalie is because Angelica told Audrey that Natalie said that Shayne wants to get back with her.
What the fuck is this telephone game?
Angelica did tell Audrey that. So then Jason is like, Shayne never talked to me about that. So we go back to the back of Sir, and Shayne tells Angelica, like, look, girl, I'm into Natalie and I'm into you too. And Angelica's like, no, that's not what you told me. And also, I started seeing someone else. And Shayne's like, are you fucking serious?
Shayne's like, so what's the problem?
Well, Shayne's like, that's really fat.
Oh,
like, he's like, girl, you're pining over me and you're already seeing someone new. And Angelica's like, yeah, I'm picking him up from LAX tomorrow.
The way she feels the need to tell everybody that to show how serious this, like, guy is crazy.
It's embarrassing.
Wait, do you think it's worse, Angelica picking this man up from LAX? Let's say that they have been talking for 5 days.
Okay.
Or Sally getting the chickens on Southern Charm.
Or Sheena buying a penguin. I think, okay, only because they're like living things. I think buying the chickens is like so insane.
I agree. I think it's more pick me behavior and you're like side-eyeing it. Like, what are you doing? But like the constant need to talk about picking this man up from LAX pushes it a little higher for me, for Angelica.
Yes. It is so strange.
They're all strange.
It is so strange. Okay.
I don't like a man enough to pick him up from the airport to buy something that they're just interested in, or I guess the penguin was also kind of bought, but like to research and buy a penguin because a man loves something. No.
Somehow that is like the weirdly like the least problematic though. I don't know how, because it's kind of the same of it. Like, I'm doing something for a man, so he'll love me. But there was no other girl involved, and there was no like
that. It's not that much leg work.
Here's the thing: it always feels different from Sheena because she is like so in her head of like, I will just have them fall in love with me. She's not intentionally trying to keep them away from anyone else. She just wants like the gold light on her. And it never is, so then it feels like we're fine.
She thinks about doing something really special for someone she cares about, rather than them being obsessed with her just because she's shown interest into something.
She wants to do these nice things
and does it for them, whereas Angelica and Sally are doing things that the man will like. They're changing their life so the man will like them.
And then bragging about it to everyone else. Ugh. To also keep them away from other girls. Which, crazy, both Sally and Angelica are friends with the girls that they're trying to push down.
Yeah.
Like, Angelica's like, Natalie's the worst. Sally's like, what's her name? Charlie's the worst. See, Sheena never did that. Sheena was just always kind of the last place. I love Sheena.
That's so true. Good. That's so true.
Okay, yeah, so Shayne is shocked by this LAX thing. He's like kind of like, Angelica, that's crazy. And Angelica's like, should have had me when you could have had me.
Girly.
Because she's like, someone like me is not going to be available for long. And I was like, girl, you are still available to this man. You are still on the menu.
That won't drive him to date you. He still won't want to date you.
He's just going to fuck you unethically at this point. So her parting words to Shayne are, I hope you and Natalie work out. And the fact that that is her whole focus. She's not mad because Shayne ended things. She's not like, oh, Shayne's hooking up with other girls. It's the fact that he didn't even kiss Natalie, it sounds like.
She perceives as Natalie being better than her in Shayne's mind, and that drives her nuts.
Yeah. She's like, I hope Natalie works out for you.
Like, nothing actually happened. They flirted, which is both of their personalities, too.
And also, if we're really going to be crazy about it, they were together first.
100%. That's why I get so annoyed with Angelica about this whole episode is, like you kind of sniped Shayne from Natalie in a way. I mean, not 100% because like they weren't together, like they did end things. But if we're talking about hierarchy of liking a guy, you were bottom of the barrel.
Also, whatever Shayne, in Angelica's mind, whatever Shayne is doing to her, she did worse to Jason. Like, she made out with another guy and at the Abbey in front of him.
But technically, she's also doing the same to Shayne because she's talking to this new guy and gonna pick him up from LAX while pining over Shayne, maybe?
She's kind of screwing the new guy because she's just using him to make Shayne jealous. Like, I don't know.
She's a use him and lose him pick me, where she's like constantly ready for her next one while she's yelling at the previous one. She was yelling at Jason to get with Shayne, and then now she's yelling at Shayne while she's getting with this guy. This better be the guy she's currently like in real life dating, because I can't handle more of these like guys. He
needs to watch the show and break up with her. Like, this is crazy behavior.
No, she's posting insane things like, the right one will never think you're like too crazy, or the right one will never think you're like too much, or the energy you put into it, the right one will like it, like stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, go sail off into the sunset.
Yeah, enjoy then. So then back in Sir, Jason finds Natalie and he's like, hey, did Shayne ask you to open things back up with him? And Natalie's like, Shayne just said, like, you look so good. I might have to revisit that. Ha ha ha. Which that is so funny. That is so funny. People they are hating on Natalie and Shayne for living life.
They're blowing this out of proportion.
This is not that serious, dude. That is so funny. if I run into not even an ex, but like an ex,
any person I've ever liked,
but like we're still cool, I'd be like, damn, you look on their wedding day. I would make that joke to be like, you look great in a tux. Too bad I missed out. Like that is so funny.
One of my guy friends, friend from college, I flirted with once on the guy's birthday, like my friend's birthday.
Yeah.
And I literally, every time I see him, I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, there's my man.
Maybe we could revisit that one time we flirted.
Hell yeah. Like that is so funny. That's a funny joke. You look hot. I might have to revisit that. Because here's the other thing that people seem to be forgetting that angers me. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, Shayne and Natalie are together. Has anyone asked Natalie her thoughts? No?
They're coming to ask her what happened. And it's not like they're like, oh, so are you interested in Shayne? They're like, I cannot believe you and Shayne are getting together.
Yeah, it's like, because Jason's like, how'd you respond to that? And Natalie's like, I responded, I'm sure you'd love that. Because that's funny too.
Yeah.
This was a funny conversation. So then we go to Bacchusser, and Jason's like, hey, so
Shayne.
Hey, Shayne. So Angelica's talking about you and Natalie. What the fuck, dude? And Shayne's like, okay. We're just
second confrontation Shayne is getting on this topic for just saying Natalie looked hot.
My God. And then Audrey comes outside and she's like, okay, look, I didn't know what I repeated was going to cause this. But basically, Angelica told Audrey that Shayne wants to reopen things with Natalie. Shayne says, he's like, I don't even know if I want to do, what? And then Jason's like, okay, so here's the thing. I go out with Angelica, and then you make out with her, and then I go out with Natalie, and now you're trying to steal her? And Shayne's like, huh?
No.
And then Natalie comes outside, and she's like, hey, like she has no idea what's happening. And Jason's like, look, if you're open to going out with Shayne, then I'm going to take a step back, and we'll just be friends. And Natalie's like, we are just friends.
This is the worst layer to add, is Natalie's like,
hello?
Yeah, we already are.
We're friends. And then Natalie's like, okay, here's the thing. Shayne, you and I had a connection. Jason, you and I, we're having fun with no romantic connection. There is a difference. And Shayne's like, okay, but the problem is mine and Jason's friendship. And Natalie goes, okay, then bye, because that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Like, hello? And she goes, why do people care who I go out with? Audrey goes, y'all went on a date. And Natalie goes, who went on a date?
I knew that was coming. I knew something like this was coming. So good. From the minute we saw that date, and Natalie was like, I love just being friends with Jason. I was like, this time will come. I didn't think it would be as epic as this. The exact who in front of Jason's face was crazy work, but this is the best TV moment on this episode. Good. On this season. Like, amazing.
Natalie coming out. I cannot get enough of this. I need to revisit it. Jason being like, if you don't want me, we'll just be friends. And Natalie goes, we are friends.
We are.
Try again. And then Shayne was like, what about mine and Jason's friendship? And Natalie goes, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. And then Audrey goes, y'all went on a date. And Natalie goes, who went on a date?
Point to the person I've gone on a date with, please.
She's like, Shayne and Jason? Crazy. That's
Natalie
fun.
is so lost in this conversation, even though it's basically all about her.
She has no idea,
like,
though.
Wait, what fanfic have you guys all written about my life? Because I'm not on the same page at all.
Well, Audrey's like, hello, you and Jason. And Natalie goes, that wasn't a date. And Jason's like, it was a date.
That made me a little sad, though.
Yeah, that's sad. But also, shout out that woman in the back in a yellow vest, smoking her cig.
I didn't see.
Oh my God. Yeah, there was just this woman. Her face was blurred out, but she's just right in between Natalie and Audrey. In the back of Sarah, this whole thing's happening in a construction vest. It was awesome. So then Jason's like, we can just be friends. And Natalie's like,
great.
Okay, that's what I thought we were. And then Jason tells Shayne to go after it. And Natalie goes, yeah. I don't want to go after it. And Audrey's like, just leave it. And Natalie's like, no, I don't want either one of you. And she basically tells us, guess who decides who Natalie gets to date? Natalie.
Crazy. And I went, here.
That's insane. I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed
you know what?
with Natalie. What?
Angelica could never.
Angelica could never. This girl looked at two boys, went, you both want me? I don't want either of you. How about that? And said it to their faces.
Yep.
Hello? It was awesome.
I didn't even know we were flirting, didn't even know we were dating. What are you guys thinking? Because that's not what I'm at.
Hey, to your face, you're just my friend. You're nothing because you bored me at a pool. And Audrey, you can shut the fuck up. So everyone die. And then she went, I'm going to go back to work now.
Anyways.
Bye. So then we go out to drinks with Venus and Marcus. Marcus is very upset Venus isn't drinking, but Venus can't get fucked up. He's got to be ready for gay pride.
He has to go hand out those flyers here soon.
Yeah, he can't be drunk for that. So they cheers to hanging out again because this is the first time they've hung out since their friendship breakup. And then Marcus is like, hey, guess what? Kimberly's not on birth control anymore. And Venus is like, yuck.
Do you remember when they had their friendship breakup and Venus was like, I don't want to be in the middle of y'all's relationship anymore? And here he is back in the middle of their relationship because why does Venus need to be updated on whether or not Kim's on birth control?
Well, here's Marcus saying, you might be an uncle. And Venus is like, I don't want to be an uncle.
It's like, hey, you're going to be a godfather and we expect you to pull your full parenting weight.
That's why Marcus is telling Venus, because we'll need help raising this child that we will irresponsibly conceive because we just like raw dogging it. Yeah, because Venus is like, hey, wear a condom. And Marcus is like, that's never going to happen.
No.
I'd rather have a child than wear a condom.
Crazy thoughts.
I would never have sex with you. That's insane. And Marcus also, I feel like he's obviously lost his parents, right? Mm-hmm. Very sad. And he's like, having a kid would be really cool because it'd be like a lineage of my parent, which is like, the thought is beautiful. But sir, if we're not ready to be parents, this is not the way to cope.
This level of sentiment added into the chaos of their sex life is scaring me because it feels like he might try, because I think that is also beautiful to like have a kid and think about your parents and you know how they might look like your parents and all of that stuff, but please don't do this willy-nilly. Don't
just bring a child in so you can like see your parents' features again. Like that's just that's not
fair to the child.
That's not it. It's not fair to Kim either, if this is your whole point of like, although Kim is also like, don't wear a condom.
Well, Kim has some agency in these choices. This future child that they could have has no none. Choice in this, and that is not fair.
Agreed. Okay, so then Venus ends this conversation with no fighting with Kim at Pride. Which I bet they will. I bet they will. Anyway.
You know what? I would take Kim and Marcus fighting than Angelica's pick-me energy.
Agreed. Because at least it's kind of funny. Remember when they fought over a special hug?
It gives me, the banter we have about it gives me like Kyle and Amanda over on Summer House fighting about water.
It's like, that's the energy. May that love never find us, but it is hilarious sometimes to laugh about.
Amazing to discuss.
Yeah. Okay, so then we go to Audrey's stand-up comedy night. She's a little nervous. We got the whole crew here, including our man Parker. He's here cheering on his girl. I love Parker. So they do a cheers to Audrey. Chris also kisses Audrey in front of everyone, and we're like, oh, that's crazy. Jason thinks it's really fucked up that Natalie is snubbing him because he should be snubbing Natalie.
I still don't get why, but okay.
And then Chris is like, Audrey, I hope you roast me because that's an Italian Jersey love language. And I was like, we'll see. We'll see how hard she goes.
Will somebody tell Melissa and Joe Gorga and Teresa Giudice because they don't notice that.
They don't get it. It must be a different part of Jersey, I guess. But
true. Are they Central Jersey?
Maybe. I don't know. Angelica is wondering if Shayne's coming. She's asked Kim. Kim asked Marcus.
Girlie,
Marcus
didn't you just pick someone else up from LAX?
Hello? This girl is so crazy. Anyway, Shayne does show up. He has another girl, though. And that's so funny. Angelica is so pissed because Shayne needs to learn that he will not have access to her sandwich unless it's the only sandwich on the menu. To which I say, he doesn't want just your sandwich, so you could take your sandwich completely off the menu. As you saw at that street fair, he offers his sandwich to all.
That's literally and metaphorically.
That's still Angelica. My favorite Demi moment when she's like, no, he literally just offered his sandwich.
Yeah, that one wasn't deep, but this one, the other version he is also doing.
Yeah.
And Angelica, if there's one thing consistent for Shayne this season, is he will show up to every place with a different woman.
With a woman, yeah. That you've never seen before.
Correct.
Okay, so it's time for Audrey to do comedy. I'm nervous for her because I've seen a lot of comedy bombs on this show particularly.
Agreed.
She does okay, though. She, like, roasts Shayne. She roasts Marcus. They're cracking up. She brings up the penis pump. And it's funny because of the way she presents the penis pump, right? She's like, I'm hooking up with this guy. I walk into the bathroom. I see a penis pump and I'm like, oh my God. You know, like she's like good. She's making good of the penis pump.
That is, she's not using it to shame him. That is the difference between the Angelica stuff and Audrey's stand-up routine.
She's like, I'm about to get fucked, okay? No. So she's like, yeah, and people start chanting penis pump. And Angelica's like, I leave for 1 week and now you guys get a sense of humor? And I'm like, Angelica will never meet the point. Angelica will never see the point.
No, she doesn't. She'll never grasp this situation and many others.
No. So then Audrey starts roasting Angelica, and it's crazy. She does, though, I would like to say, Audrey does have this line about Angelica living with her ex and calling it emotional homelessness. And I'm going to steal. That was so good. Emotional homelessness. I loved that.
So easy to use with so many of my friends.
I loved that. Okay, but then she like really does burn Angelica pretty hard about a bunch of shit to the point that everyone's kind of like, ooh, you know?
Yeah.
And then Angelica gets up to leave the bar and Audrey yells after her, tell your ex I say hi.
The problem is the early ones were very funny. And I think it's hard when you're getting roasted and people find the joke funny. That's harder to take as Angelica.
Yes.
They did get meaner. And when people stopped laughing, I was like, Audrey, this is the time to be like, okay.
We're done.
No, we're going to like lay off her and go to the next person.
We're done. Yeah, no, Audrey kept going.
Yeah.
And though, listen, as someone who doesn't know either of these people, it was kind of hilarious. Knowing they are friends, and if I was in this room, I'd have to witness it. Ooh, that's a rough one. That's a rough one because it is funny and true, but it is not great.
But you have to be ready to never be friends again and know that you're the person who put that final nail in the coffin. So like at this reunion when it's like, and like, why did they have beef online? It's like, Audrey, you participated in that heavily.
And I think Audrey just says, look, at the end of the day, I didn't like Angelica. I took it out. Maybe that was wrong, but here we are. We're not friends.
It's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, but she is in the wrong for going in so hard on her.
Do you think she needs to apologize? Or you think she just stands?
If you want to be friends with her, yes. Like you need, like this is your wrongdoing.
And if you just want to be coworkers?
Then I think she needs to be honest about that. Like she needs to also say that to Angelica.
Agreed.
And be like, listen, I said things that I think are true. They probably hurt your feelings. I'm not sorry for them. I don't want anything.
Very fair. So Kim and Shayne run after Angelica. Kim says that wasn't funny. Natalie says she feels a little bad, but we weren't really off base, if you know what I mean.
It was all true, and that's what hurts the most.
Yeah. And I mean, it hurts more probably that people were laughing and we're like, oof.
True.
Called her out. But Angelica leaves. So next time on the season finale, we have Pride. We deal with the fallout of Audrey's comedy. Chris will not make Audrey his girlfriend. Shayne wants Angelica back. And Angelica yells at Audrey in the back of Sir, which I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, but like you're going to ruin Pride.
Oh, Pride was ruined. Someone DM'd us and told me that no one was in Pride this year for Sir. Or like no one went to Sir for Pride.
I wonder how they're gonna make it look full.
I wonder because their whole staff is in the back of Sir. Who's serving crispy chickens?
Well, there's 3 people up front, so.
I'm waiting for my goat cheese balls, and you're telling me I have to wait for them to finish an argument? I don't think so. I'm
there's
paying
7
to be
people
here.
Working, and no one can hand me anything?
I become a Karen. I'm paying you to be here.
Yeah, probably.
Hello. Let's do accepted and blocked. Meredith, it's your turn to go first, so you can start with whatever.
Let's block, and this is gonna be crazy. Well, I guess not crazy. I'm going Chris. I think the switch up is crazy from him and then not communicating. Because, like, why do you say that shit to Jason and then at the stand-up thing, you're, like, kissing Audrey when you know the issue? Like, you voiced it out loud. Like, you know.
You're in your 30s. Like, grow up. You're emotionally homeless. Grow up.
Like, nobody is forcing you in a relationship. We're not in a society where you have to be coupled up. And so you're, like, trying to, like, have your cake and eat it, too. You can just eat the whole cake and skedaddle off to Europe.
And then have no cake.
Go get mad bitches in Bali, my guy. No issue here.
I'm going to block Angelica. I'm sorry. I can't get over what she said to Natalie, and I'm obsessed with Natalie now. So, like, how dare you?
Perfect blocking.
How dare you? Okay, who are you accepting?
I have to give it to Natalie.
Same.
She is
Let's
the light
double.
of my life.
We have to double on her. She was so good. I'm so obsessed with her. That conversation in the back of Sir, I want it on VHS and DVD. I want to keep it forever.
And how she reacted to Angelica at something about her when Angelica's like dissing her and she's like,
you're not going to hurt me.
Oh, okay. And next bite of my sandwich.
You're not going to hurt me. And we're going to see her. Listen, for as much as I don't remember much about Passenger, I love a performance at Sir. I hope she gets up on the bar
in
her wedged gym shoe and her gold shorts.
Maybe no wedged gym shoes. Please make sure you're not in that tiny ass bathing suit from Angelica. Like,
oh no, we can see right up your crack, girl. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So Natalie, wish her the best. But yeah. So do all the things. We have one more episode and one more reunion, and then we're done. And hopefully they send the show into the depths of Bravo, into the archives.
At the end of next episode, I want to discuss on if we think that this will get another season, because I'll pull the ratings and we can kind of judge it based on other shows.
Okay, love that. Okay, well, with that, love ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye.